Arnie,
up using.
Arnie, it is a great pleasure to meet you at last.
A pleasure to meet you.
And we are united by one fight to help the young people in their efforts to derail absolutely wrong cult. And without you, the fight would not be the same. It wouldn't be that good. So I spent the last hour with you here, sitting and talking, and I am really happy that we made friends and that we can proceed with our fight.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you sitting next to me, looking at the remnants of Scientology scuttling before the onslaught of truth in the hands of thousands of young people.
They are good people. They are young, they are good, they are without leadership, which they don't need.
Well, these youngsters are going to learn how to determine what is true, and their future and the future of this planet depends on how well they learned that lesson.
I completely agree with you. And during the last protest in Washington, D.C., I was impressed by the enthusiastic approach to this fight, by the efforts, by spirit of it. And then you came with your posters and the Lord Zenu dolls. That was fantastic, that was great.
Well, I couldn't make up anything quite as good as the truth about Scientology. I mean, the truth is stranger than anything we could ever invent.
Is there any truth in Scientology?
The art of deception. That's the truth you'll find in Scientology.
Well, how dangerous do you think the cult is?
Oh, it's only dangerous at this point to its own members. I don't think it's dangerous to any of us anymore. Not even in court.
How about the society at large? Doesn't it cause any danger to the society?
If it were not contained, it would pose a danger to society. But as long as there's no chance of them assuming positions of influence within our government, citizenry should be able to deal with everything else that happens.
If you would have to compare a cult versus drug abuse, how would you do that? Isn't that a sort of a drug?
Well, cultic involvement is addictive and does create altered mental states and does produce a fanaticism and a lust for the next dose. Yes, it does.
I spoke with Magoo, Tori Magoo, and she cheered me up by saying that less and less people come to so-called church. There used to be hundreds, and now if you see 2, 3, 4 people at a time, that's all what it is. So would it indicate decaying of the cult, or what do you think?
Well, absolutely. The Scientology can't recruit anyone anymore. The people that they're recruiting tend to be mental defectives at this point. I mean, no one with any amount of what's the word? Any amount of life experience can actually get involved in Scientology anymore. There's just too much information out there. The only people they're getting are people that seriously have mental problems and really need help elsewhere. The sad thing is these people won't get that help as long as they're in Scientology. But their front groups still need more attention. Crimenon is still operating. Narcanon is still preying on people, and preying on people in a position of impaired judgment, which is the favorite kind of person Scientology likes, because you have to have impaired judgment to get into Scientology.
Ernie, what do you think the anonymous movement does to Scientology? Does it have any impact?
Oh, absolutely. So you see, I mean, as soon as a Scientologist sees a half dozen individuals standing together, and by their presence stating there are no super duper ubermensch in Scientology, by their own training and by Hubbard's own words, reality is defined as agreement. And if they see agreement that there's nothing to Scientology, that all it is a fraud, they start to doubt, because their reality is defined by Anonymous, not by Scientology anymore. Because now there are more people standing against it than are in it.
How would you explain lack of the press media coverage of the protests?
Well, if you haven't noticed, we live in a fairly controlled society at this point, media-wise. I'm not sure exactly what part of our government Scientology aids. I know it doesn't aid Congress. I know it doesn't aid the judiciary. Perhaps there's some dark element in the background that they have some allegiance to. Or there is some interest in the propagation of Nazi ideology. I mean, in a totalitarian society, you're always going to need people who are good at routing bodies to where they are supposed to go.
What do you think is the ultimate goal of Scientology?
A totalitarian slave state where there is total ideological control of every mind on it.
That sounds like brainwashing the whole society, and what happens with those who do not want to be brainwashed?
Per Hubbard's own words, they shall be disposed of quietly and without sorrow.
Well, Ernie, thank you so much. I hope to see you many, many, many times again.
Thank you, Anonymous, for keeping them from disposing of me quietly and without sorrow.
And keep fighting.